Yeah, you do swear like a sailor.
I do, I do.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people don't know about me if they haven't talked to me in in a casual setting.
That's true. Comes as
So
a bit of a surprise.
it does, yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
because you're a good friend and we're working together here. I'll abide to the David Ross rules for
Thank you.
today.
I appreciate that. That's nice.
Yes, yes.
Now, am I correct in assuming that your name is Tommy Woo?
That is a good assumption, and you are very on the correct path here to saying my name in the correct way. Yeah, it is
Nice.
Tommy Wu.
Tommy Woo. Oh, whew. All right. It's the worst when you mispronounce one of your friends' names,
Right.
and I didn't want that to be the case. I didn't want that to happen.
Especially on an interview or like a recorded interview
A
too. That would be
recorded interview. Yeah, I gotta get it right the first time. Otherwise,
yeah,
it's a
you
bad
should.
look.
Yeah, yeah. Otherwise, yeah,
Yeah.
bad luck.
Very bad luck. It's like breaking
Yes.
a mirror in the interview world. So now,
So this. Oh, sorry. I was going to
oh,
ask you about your bow tie because I
oh,
mean
please,
I'm just
please.
because I just feel so underdressed and you're really just putting it out there and I just feel like acting like a fool
Yeah.
up in here while you're wearing your bow tie. I'm just wearing
Mhm.
my casual shirt. So
So here, okay, here's the thing. Yeah, it would be nice if you showed like a little bit more respect in how you came dressed to this interview. Sure, but I'm also aware that I didn't give you any information about the dress code.
no,
So
nope.
I'm giving you a little bit of leeway there, but
Oh great.
you'd think like, oh, it's an interview, like I should probably look good, but it's fine. No, it's fine. It's fine.
Oh wow wow. Okay great yeah.
But for me, on my part as an interviewer, in order to interview
Mm.
someone, you need to be dressed up. Like
Right right.
that's the rule. Usually it's like suit with like a long tie, but I thought I'd kind of
Mm.
mix it up a little bit today with a
That's
little
really
bit.
funny though, because for those of you who don't know, David Voss is a fantastic piano player, and he has accompanied me in a bunch of my recital videos that have not yet released yet.
Mm.
But David Voss took the liberty of not dressing up for one of those days as well. So I think we're even here. I'm just returning that favor that you.
I guess we're even now. I
Mm.
suppose we can end this feud between us. Um, now that we have both committed these fashion faux pas. So yes, you mentioned that I play the piano, and I do a fair amount of that on my upcoming album, Pictures at
Mm.
an Inhibition, which Tommy pointed out before this interview. The album art is hanging over on my wall right there.
Very
So
nice
it's
touch. Very nice touch.
yeah, it's a little
Yeah.
subliminal messaging kind of in the background of all these
Mm.
videos that everyone's just like pictures at an inhibition, like it's just always there. But I play a lot of piano on it. It's coming out on the 30th of April. And Tommy plays a fair amount of bass. Is that right? Bass?
Some bass, yeah, or
Bass?
some bass or some contrabass. Some people like to call it the bull fiddle. I've heard someone say that before. It's
Is
a
that right?
very interesting name. But yeah,
Well, surely you
well,
bow most fiddles.
yeah, no, not the bow, a bowl,
Bowl.
bull, bull, fiddle,
A bull
like
fiddle.
a bowl, yeah,
Oh, I see.
like a
Like
big
low,
kind of
kind of
animal, yeah, yeah,
angry thing with the horns.
yeah.
I see. Okay. So you played
So
a bit
yes,
of the bull fiddle
bull fiddle, yeah.
on my album. What talk to me about that?
Playing the bass on your album.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Well, I believe I got a Facebook message from Mr. Voss here saying that, he wanted to compile an album together.
Hmm.
And he was like, hey, you want to play a bass part for me on this one track? And I was like, sure. And then maybe a few days after, he was like, oh, I had another bass player who had to drop out, unfortunately. And
Mm-hmm.
then he was like, you want to play some bass on this? I was like, hey, sure, because, I like to work for David Voss. He's written some great music before,
Oh,
So
thank you,
just like
thank you, thank you.
figured I would, take part in this adventure.
Certainly, certainly.
Well, the two tracks that I've played on are called Austin and Contemporary Cowboys. I believe it was in Austin. You sort of just hated my bass. You just hated my bass sound. I was playing upright on Austin, and actually some of it was technically difficult because you've had these parts where I had to do some hammer-ons.
Yeah.
And, you know, it doesn't speak too well on the upright bass.
No.
And then you suggested I played some electric bass on it. And, you know, that was a lot more successful sound-wise on the electric bass. So then we stuck with that take, and it sounds great. I mean, your post-production editing made it sound really nice.
Yeah,
so
it turned out real great. So I know you from Stony Brook University, and I am more familiar with you as like a classical bassist. So I'd only really ever seen you play the upright bass. And so when it came to Austin, I was just like, well, that's what the thing that Tommy does. So here you go, Tommy. And then, yeah, there were some particular riffs, if you will, that greatly benefited from having frets. So once I heard the upright bass take, yeah, it wasn't exactly what I had envisioned in my brain, you know, my brain vision. I was like, I don't know. And then you were like, oh, I could do electric bass. And I just didn't even know that was an option. I wasn't even aware that was a thing you did.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, yeah, electric. Let's try electric bass. And then that worked a lot better. Yeah,
you could envision me holding the bass guitar.
I couldn't.
I'm not too cool. I don't look cool enough to play bass guitar.
No, not at all. Not in the slightest. I can only see the fingerboard going up and not to the side with you. Yeah, you're just kind of a fingerboard up kind of guy.
Right.
If that makes sense. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. That totally makes sense, yeah.
So it came as a total shock to me that you were in fact cool.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, me too. I mean, you know, I didn't realize how cool I could have been all this time. I should spend more time on the bass guitar, yeah.
But instead, you're getting a doctorate on the upright bass.
On the upright bass, yeah. Not the bass guitar, on the upright bass, exactly.
Do they do doctorates for the bass guitar?
I have not seen a doctorate for the bass guitar, but it could be something that can be conjured up in the near future.
It could be.
Could be.
Unless every bass guitarist is just too cool for school.
Exactly.
That's definitely a possibility.
We'd have to probably change up the name too, not DMA and electric bass, but it should be like Doctorate of Slap at the Bass.
Yeah.
You know?
Something real cool.
Dr. Slap.
Dr. Slap? Oh my God. Can you imagine if you got a doctorate in bass guitar and your last name was legally changed to Slap?
Oh, geez, that has to happen.
It has to happen.
Everyone who has a Dr. Slap degree becomes Slap.
Yeah. I'd be David Slap. You'd be Tommy Slap. There would be a bunch of Dr. Slaps. It could get a little confusing.
It would get a little confusing, yeah.
A little bit. So when you're not recording bass on one of my albums, what are you doing with your life?
Let's see. I've been, throughout this pandemic, I've been learning how to build websites. So I'm getting into a lot of software development, or specifically front-end development, where I have to learn code to build websites from scratch. This doesn't mean that like I'm a web designer. It's a different thing, because I mean a lot of people can use like Squarespace or Wix. You know, I think those are familiar names just to like build websites. But I've learned how to build apps from scratch, and it's been a real adventure throughout these past like 8 months, I believe, or something like that. It's been a little while since I've been learning. It's not a career yet. I'm sort of, transitioning into that world, seeing where that can take me. But, I mean, music's still going to be, the main front here. Because not only am I a bass player, I'm also a music educator as well. And I've just been, teaching programs and privately throughout this whole thing, this whole pandemic, while on top of, learning how to code and all that. And I'm still applying for full-time teaching jobs out in New York, so trying to get a full-time job happening at some point.
That'd be nice. That'd be good.
That'd be nice, yeah. But I mean, this whole pandemic has been, I don't know, a little eye-opening. There are some things I'll miss once this whole thing goes away, like the whole being in lockdown, having extra time to do what you want to explore.
Sure.
I mean, everybody has their own opinions about like the whole lockdown situation, but I mean, on my end, it has been, a great learning experience. I mean, it sucks, though, because I can't really teach in person anymore, and that's been a whole different game, Yeah, it's got this different challenges, Well, the first, you can't smell the fear off of the
That's true.
of the students. Just kidding. No, my students are doing so well, even like through this crazy pandemic thing happening. But I mean, it definitely has its challenges. I mean, you can't really have the physical aspect. You can't just like show them what part of their body to move to, like, you know, have a perfect posture, or, you know, set up their left hand. But, you know, you have to find a way to communicate it differently. So that's been like the main thing, how to communicate through this virtual world. You know, we're not one-on-one, and just using not different language, but like, as I said, you just gotta find a way to communicate in a clearer, concise way. I think that's been the biggest challenge.
Because some corrections, especially in terms of technique, are a lot quicker to address and fix in the room. We're able to be like, oh, you see what's happening with your finger here? What if we just kind of do that and then see how I'm doing it over here? Whereas virtually you have to talk those things through, which takes longer and takes slightly different vocabulary. So I can imagine that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Totally, yeah. And I guess the second biggest challenge is, you know, some students don't have access to, like, you know, good internet or good equipment. Like, I see, like, on your end, you have like a very fancy microphone. We're not lagging like as bad as other students do. And, you know, I have my microphone here too, so we're all set up.
Oh, nice.
We're all set up in like a professional way.
We're professionals.
But,
we're
you know,
professionals.
We're professionals, yeah, you know.
Yeah, we know what
you
we're doing.
Well, one of us here is, you know, one's wearing a bow tie. I'm not even wearing a tie. A collared shirt.
Well, one of us looks more professional, but
yes.
we are. I swear. For my audience out there who doesn't know Tommy, he's actually a professional. He may not seem professional now, but if you hire him for stuff, he'll slap on something.
Some kind of collar.
Like a collar.
Shirt, you know?
He'll put on his best black sneakers. He'll look.
That's true.
He will look like $1,000.
Right. And no, not only will I slap on some kind of collar, I'll also slap some of the bass for you as well.
That's right. He slap it a bass. He can actually do that.
Right.
Now we know. But he's a cool.
Now we know. Yeah, I'm a cool guy now.
Yeah.
Cool guy. Also been on the fitness binge happening too. I've been doing a bunch of power yoga as well.
Oh, is that right? Is that what this is?
Yeah. Oh no, that's just to, I don't know what that is.
That's just self-love, I think.
That's just self. Yeah, exactly.
I've been loving myself. I've been taking this quarantine time to just love who I am. Just love me more.
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
the way. Yeah.
Just give myself a little hug every once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but sure.
You haven't been giving yourself any hugs?
No, I mean, I have, yeah, definitely. I mean, sure,
okay.
You know,
Okay.
Actually, that's part of some yoga, actually. So just giving yourself a hug after the end of your practice.
That's true.
So yeah, just a lot of video games too. So I'm also quite the gamer. Yeah,
yes.
Sure, you know.
But he's one of those cool gamers.
I'm one of those cool who plays bass, who slaps.
He slaps.
So I'm double the amount of cool.
That's right. Twice as cool.
Right.
I did a little bit of yoga. There was a portion of quarantine where me and my roommate decided to do a little bit of yoga every once in a while. We would do we used the Nike app, and they have a bunch of like yoga things, yoga videos, and like it was fun. It was fine. It was a good time. But at the end of the videos, there was always a bit where the woman who was teaching the course was like, thank yourself for showing up today. Give yourself a little pat on the back.
A pat on the back.
Yeah.
Doing these stretches.
Yeah. And I thought I didn't like that. It's like, I don't need to thank myself.
Right.
It's like whenever.
I need to thank myself.
Exactly. It's like anytime anyone on stage is like, hey, give yourself a round of applause. No, I won't.
Right. No, I won't. Because I know I did so well that I don't even have to, you know?
Exactly. I know in my heart of hearts that I did a good job. I don't need to do a whole big show about it.
Oh my God.
That feels cheap. It feels cheap.
A little bit.
I know I showed up. You know I showed up. Why do I need to thank myself for it? Like,
exactly, yeah. You got all the way to the end of the video, and you know that you've been there.
We both do. Yeah. Everyone knows. I don't know why I need a big congrats about it. I don't know. There's a summer program that you have a little summer program that you had worked at, not this past summer for obvious reasons, but summers before. That sounds like quite an amazing program. Or
Oh,
program.
sure.
Sorry. Got to keep it consistent whatever I do. The Pearlman music program, is that right?
That's true. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Talk to me a little bit about that experience.
Yeah, it's a very
Who's this
interesting program.
Pearlman guy?
I think he's some violinist
Violinist.
who has played some violin in the past and probably is still playing violin. But yeah, it's a program run by the Pearlman family. So we have Isaac Pearlman and his lovely wife Toby Pearlman. It's a very great summer program for very gifted musicians, young musicians.
Very gifted.
Very gifted. Yes, yes. These kids are pretty much just prodigies.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that sort of just blew my mind. The first time I worked, I was pretty much a camp counselor. I would have to literally put these kids to bed.
Oh, wow.
Night. That was my job.
You got to tuck them in.
And tuck them in. Well, let's not go that far.
Oh, okay. No, sorry.
I just have to make sure that everything is going according to plan. Make sure that they're not, hurting themselves in a way, doing that.
Hurting
just
themselves?
Making sure that hurting themselves, it can happen. It can happen.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
By accident, I mean by accident.
Accidental hurting. Okay.
Exactly. Not purposeful,
No,
self-inflicting.
I would hope not.
Things.
I would hope not.
But I have grown fairly close to a lot of those students, and I miss those guys too. Just a lot of those kids. They're great kids. They're great. And then the talent-wise, though, man, like when I was maybe my first summer being there, I just heard amazing music being made. And these are kids who win international competitions and they'll win auditions that they take. I mean, not like professional music, they're not like orchestral auditions, but
Yeah.
they're not going for jobs quite yet because I don't
Sure.
think that's a thing.
I don't think they can.
Yeah,
some of them.
Right.
Like you gotta be 15 or 16 or something.
I think so, right?
Something like
gotta
that.
Be some kind of age requirement. Yeah, they're kids that are extraordinarily gifted. Like they will perform concertos by memory pretty much flawlessly. And they're just still those kids who have like perfect pitch, and they're kids who get into top music schools like Juilliard, Colburn, and Curtis. They're those kind of kids. And very interesting environment to be in because I wasn't raised in that kind of learning environment. Not that I'm saying that it's not a bad environment at all. It's a very different experience for me.
Sure. Because you're a very good bass player, but I assume you weren't a child prodigy.
Exactly, yeah. And, I wasn't brought up through very elite schools, or elite programs, such as PNP. And not only was I surrounded by awesome musicians, students, teachers. Well, teachers were phenomenal. The whole program takes place on Shelter Island, which is pretty much where, like, your ideal home, summer home would be, like, on the beach. And the beach is literally just, like, a 2-minute walk. You can see the beach from the campus, so it's just like one of those places where you would ideally want to be for the summer.
Yeah. For those who don't know the kind of geography of Long Island, at the eastern end of Long Island, the island kind of separates in these two forks, the North Fork and the South Fork. And the South Fork has like the Hamptons and Montauk and stuff like that. And in between these two forks is Shelter Island. So it's kind of in this cove area in between these two forks. And I have never actually been. I've wanted to go because you were there in the summer program and I was like, ooh, I'll visit Tommy. And then you were kind of busy, I guess, or something. I don't know.
Right.
And then a mutual friend of ours, Kyle Lewis, I think he was looking after a property on Shelter Island. So I wanted to visit him. But I think at that point I was living in the city and like driving from Brooklyn out to Shelter Island. That's
right.
Oh boy, that's a whole day. That's a day right
That's
there.
a journey, yeah.
That's a real journey.
Because not only do you have to drive all the way to the east end of Long Island, you also have to take a ferry to the island, to the actual Shelter Island.
Oh, geez, just another step.
It's a whole other step. Yeah.
But it sounds like a lovely place. Am I correct in recalling that you either saw and or met Alan Alda?
Oh, Alan Alda. Wait, Alan Alda?
The guy from MASH?
Is that his name?
Alan Alda, yeah.
Okay, yes, he was. Well, I haven't met him, but he did attend the concert.
Oh,
yeah, he was there. Every Friday the students would have the chance to have a concert, and perform their works, and they would perform it in a giant tent outdoors, and sometimes it would get really hot, just really extreme conditions. Yeah, so we have some people coming in, some locals, some Chefs Island locals, and people who were just around. They would sort of check out these concerts.
Sure.
And yeah, Alan Alda was one of the guests. And he wasn't the only guest to show up too. We had Alec Baldwin show up.
Alec Baldwin too?
Yeah, Alec Baldwin. Yeah, and that,
Well,
that was a cool time.
he's a classical music lover.
He is, right? He's been very involved in like Lincoln Center.
Yeah, and I think I even was listening to New York City's classical radio station, and he had done like a bunch of voiceovers for stuff, and was like introducing the next piece, and he was like pronouncing all the composer names right. And I was like, okay, all right, Alec. So
right.
Yeah, this program seems to attract music lovers, and because it's Itzhak Pearlman's thing, a lot of people know about it. In those sorts of circles, I suppose.
It's quite the circle that he has.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got connections, that guy. He knows some people.
Yes, he does.
Well, I thought it would be nice to not completely just talk about music all the time.
Oh, sure.
So I'm kind of new to this whole interviewing thing. So I've kind of looked up some questions.
You're doing a great job, by the way. This is good.
Oh, thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
I don't know much about interviewing too, but it seems like you're doing a great job.
Yeah, from a layman's perspective, I think it's going pretty well. And here you thought this was going to be an awkward interview.
Yeah, that's what I said when you first came to me about doing this kind of thing. I was like, I don't think I can do it.
Yeah.
Just because it's a new thing for me, and I think it's a new thing for you. So
yeah, for both of us. But I think it's going surprisingly well considering. And even despite your attire, I think you're doing quite a good job yourself at being interviewed.
Oh, sure. Did everyone else also dress up for this? I'm just curious.
Oh, everyone else dressed up real nice.
I won't believe it until I see it.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll start releasing the videos at the beginning of next month, and you'll see what you're up against. So this is a fun question, and I kind of want to ask everyone this, but I probably won't because that would get a little bit old. I don't know. Here's a question for you, Tommy Wu. If you were an action figure, what accessories would you be sold with?
Definitely some kind of gaming controller, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
That's like one of my things here.
Kind of gaming controller?
Oh, jeez.
GameCube controller? Wii?
Wow.
PlayStation? Xbox? VR things? Handheld? Game Boy? What are we talking?
That's a very good question. Because there's just so many to choose from.
There's a lot of controllers.
And I love all the controllers, to be honest.
The Wii U wheel?
For the Mario Kart.
The Mario Kart, yeah.
Right. Yeah. That'd be a great one to do. Probably the GameCube controller, to be honest. That's a pretty iconic.
Such a good controller.
Such a great controller. And I was trying to get more into Smash Brothers, like as a competitive route back in the day. Something that I've learned is that people up to this day still use GameCube controllers competitively. That just signifies the superiority of the GameCube controllers versus the other controllers. Yeah. Another accessory probably would be, man, I don't want to say bass, because, that's just like music stuff, who cares? But, no, just kidding.
Chances are there's going to be an upright bass in the package.
Yeah, chances are, exactly.
Yeah, goes without saying.
Yeah, it goes without saying. And maybe,
I don't even know why we said it, to be honest, because it went without saying, but here we are.
Maybe some kind of actual weapon, like a cool, badass, I love lightsabers, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe like a giant lance as well, or a giant sword.
Sure.
I'm that kind of stuff. It's cool.
That's fair. I suppose with an action figure, it should have like some sort of purpose.
Right.
It should kind of tell you what it's all about. And I guess you'd be more of a violent kind of thing. Because you're a very violent guy, I think it's fair to say.
I'm a very violent guy. I'm just so pent up with so much rage here.
Yeah, all the time.
Every time I think of an action figure, it's got to have some kind of, badass accessory. It's got to have a giant sword. So I just think I should follow that gimmick just because it just got to happen,
That's fair.
So, GameCube controller, giant sword.
And then like a bass somewhere back there.
And probably a bass.
But again, that goes without saying. We don't need to keep harping on about the bass thing because I think we already know at this point. So we should stop.
It's a given, pretty much.
Yeah. So we don't need to. Yeah. So let's stop talking about it. Like it doesn't need.
Yeah.
We don't need to keep addressing this. Like you play bass,
Well,
we get it. Yeah.
Yeah, we get it. You're still going, by the way. You're still going on the bass.
No, I'm trying to wrap you up. I feel like
wrap me up. All right.
okay.
Wrap me up.
We're not going to talk. We're not talking about the bass. We don't need to bring it up.
Not
Okay.
about the bass. Don't need to bring it up.
Great. Let's just try to move through this. Okay.
Move through this together.
Without
one
any
fell swoop.
Without any bass talk. All right. Okay. Was it the PlayStation controller that had like the three like things? Like there was that weird bulbous bit in the middle.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. It's not the PlayStation controller.
No?
It's not the one that you just described. To me, it sounds like the Nintendo 64 controller.
That's it.
Right, because it was an awkward controller, really. You would have the D-pad, which is like all the arrows, on your left side. And then you have like the, A and B buttons and your C buttons on the right side. In the middle, though, it's where you got the analog stick.
That's right.
Yeah.
For your third hand to go.
Right.
That's what I first. Now, was it Smash Brothers? I think it was like the first Smash game, whatever it was, Smash Melee Brothers.
I think it's just called Smash Brothers.
Smash Brothers, and I think that was the controller that I first learned it on, and that was really annoying. And the GameCube controller, I agree, is like it's really really solid controller. When it came to Smash Brothers playing, I was a big C-stick guy.
C-stick, yeah. You seem like a C-stick kind of guy.
Yeah.
How do you? Isn't a bad thing, by the way.
It's not a bad thing. I was gonna ask how you felt about C-stick guys.
Oh man, I was also brought up to the C-stick. For those of you who don't play Smash, the C-stick allows you to do your stronger types of moves against your opponents.
Yeah.
And you can smash them out pretty easily that way. But there's also another way where you can charge your attack by holding the A button and your directional, and the C-stick was an alternative, an easier alternative.
Yes. Because otherwise
and
you'd have to line up the timing. You'd have to get the directional and the A and click them together, or you could just flick the C button in a direction and have a really powerful move. That was my.
We're not flicking around here. We like to flick the C-stick.
We gotta keep this. We gotta keep this PG, Tommy.
I was keeping it PG. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, I didn't know what road we were going down there. I just wanted to kind of. Okay.
No, I'm abiding to the boss rules.
Okay. We're big fans of flicking the C-stick.
Flicking the C-stick. So yes. I was also brought up through using that C-stick, and then I realized how using the other way is better it got better for me. So I transitioned to using the directional plus the A button.
You got better at playing the game.
Exactly, yeah. Because in my undergrad years, I used to live in an apartment with a lot of my close friends, and Smash Brothers happened quite a lot in that house.
Sure.
Every day, and while we're not practicing, we would just play Smash, and all this just got better and better. But now thinking about it, we should have practiced more.
Well, sure. There's always that. There's always that,
yeah. But yeah, that's when the smashing of the brothers was very prevalent in my life. A lot of yelling, a lot of tears.
Oh my goodness.
Going to playing that game.
Tensions can get very high, especially in such a competitive environment.
Exactly, yeah.
I was a C-stick guy, and I would play Smash Brothers with my friend, and the two of us would fight against the computer. He wanted to fight me, and I was like, no, let's not do that. Let's just fight against these non-player characters.
Peace and love, right?
Peace and love.
Just get along and
Precisely. Let's be on a team and have fun together as friends. Yeah. And I'll use the C-stick. And that was me. That was my playing technique. And then I didn't really learn about competitive Smash playing until I think it was probably college. I knew just watching them play, like, oh, I can't even. There's no way that I'm going to sit down with the controller and be like, so can we fight against the computer? We'll set them to level 9. Like, no. It was a free-for-all.
Those competitive guys, they're playing on a different. I can't keep up with those guys. They're on a different level.
It's crazy.
Who's your main character, David, when you play Smash?
Oh gosh, let me think. There was a long time where I would be Ganondorf.
Yes, yes.
I just liked how he looked. He did the Captain Falcon stuff, but with purple flames.
Exactly, exactly.
He was very slow, but he packed a punch.
He packed a punch. He definitely does pack a punch.
And then I would sometimes do, oh, what's that guy's name? In the Kirby universe with the sword.
With the sword. Oh, Meta Knight.
Meta Knight.
Yeah, he's like
Meta Knight.
Yeah, he wears a cape.
Yeah, sometimes I do him or Sonic if I wanted to be a bit faster and do quick things. But I think that's also kind of one of the more recent games. Some Falco. Falco's quite good.
Falco's quite good. Yes.
Yeah. So I'd kind of go around to a few. I wasn't set solidly on one particular one.
I know a lot of like casual players that'll just have one character to just be good at. Sure. But it's good to be well-rounded in that entire game, you know.
That's right. I
use a lot of characters.
I try to be well-rounded in my gaming. I don't want to game myself into a niche. I think that's fair to say. Yeah, and that's sensible. That's sensible. What characters do you prefer?
My main go-to is Dr. Mario.
Dr. Mario, okay.
Dr. Mario, yeah. He seems a little. I think he's a little stronger than regular Mario in a way.
Okay.
Which is weird because they do the same moves.
Yeah.
Depending on what game you're playing. Well, my favorite feature of his is his cape. I don't know if you ever used his cape.
Yes. You got like the spin.
What it does he does the spin. When your opponent is close enough to you, you can reverse that character's direction. So you can also deflect projectiles, and it just causes mayhem. It makes the other player really mad.
Nice.
That's
Perfect.
why I like it. Yeah. That's why I like to use Dr. Mario. I'm also a big fan of Wolf.
Oh, cool.
Wolf is a great character. He's a Star Fox character. And, you know, he's strong, he's got some agility, but I just like characters who can deflect stuff, because I kind of like to make people angry.
Yeah. Falco and Wolf are both ones where you can do like I think it's down and B. Where it brings up this force field around you and it like projects things and blocks stuff. Because like every character has a shield. It's like one of the top right, the R button or the L button, where you can like boop, a little bubble comes up and blocks stuff, and then it kind of shrinks as you keep holding it. And I never use those. I never use competitive players use the shield function all the time, but I wouldn't unless I had Falco or a character that had that down B move, which besides being a shield, I think could also hurt a player who is right next to you, right?
Yeah, it does.
I like that.
It's a plus. I like that too.
I like it.
I like it. And I also like to play Ganondorf too. And, you know, because he's total badass.
He's so cool.
Super strong. So cool. Yeah. One of my favorite moves from him is where you're jumping and then he does this stomp to the ground with both his feet. Yeah. You can really mess up players with that move.
Oh yeah.
It's one of my favorite feels to do the stomp, man.
Yeah. Gotta do the Ganondorf stomp. I also really like, I don't play Peach very much, Princess Peach, but I do love that she can just straight up hit you with a frying pan.
That's her thing, yeah.
She can just whack you with a frying pan. Sometimes it's a tennis racket, sometimes it's a golf club. But she'll just hit you with objects, like household objects, and I like that.
She's merciless. Just
no
ruthless. Remorse.
None whatsoever. You wouldn't think it.
No.
But she will hit you in the face with a frying pan.
She'll hit you with the frying pan and not apologize.
No apology whatsoever. I don't know what Mario sees in her, to be honest.
He's just blinded by love. That's all.
I guess so. That's all it is. That's all. Yeah. Well, Tommy, I think we've had enough fun.
All right, great. Yeah, it has been fun.
It's been good. It's been good. Thank you for chatting with me. If you want to hear Tommy Woo's a great bass playing, you should listen to Pictures at an Inhibition, coming out on April 30th. You can hear his bass playing on the tracks Austin and Contemporary Cowboy. Thanks for the little chit chat there, Tommy.
It's been a lot of fun, and good luck with the whole album thing, and I hope to work with you again soon.
Thank you. I hope so too.